Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. We will be reviewing the third T20 between India and Australia. Did not go in India's favor. Some poor fielding performances, and Musti and me here will be reviewing the T20 third T20 between India and Australia. Musti, what are your thoughts? I mean, some poor fielding still probably nicked it, but a couple of really stupid errors in the field probably cost us.
Yeah, some very poor errors. I think in the overall, India won the series, but I think they would be
Yeah,
disappointed with this performance, especially in the field. Some strange things like that no ball, the Chahal ball to Maxwell, that gave like 30, 40 extra runs unnecessarily. The
yeah,
LBW review when Wade was on like 54, 53.
yeah,
I don't know what happened there. They took it, then the screen showed it. That was very weird. Like, I mean, that was
yeah,
out, man. Like, I don't know what the problem was.
yeah,
Kohli took the review and thing. So that was also strange. Maybe that wasn't in India's control for sure.
right.
But because he did do it before, right? I mean, like before
Yeah,
this
yeah,
15
he did it.
seconds.
He did it 1 second left. He did it
Yeah,
on time. I mean,
yeah.
he did
So
it
I don't
right on time.
know. Yeah, that was very weird. So I think that cost them as well. But yeah, and even KL Rahul, like I think over appealing for some for some catches.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
quite funny. More than like
Luckily, yeah, yeah. Luckily enough, his stump miss chance didn't cost much because he
yeah.
just
There
missed
you
the
go. Yeah,
stumping on. And then some sitters also were dropped, like a couple of simple chances that they dropped in the outfield. That Chahal one, I remember. I think Natarajan dropped one, if I'm not wrong. No,
yeah.
no, Deepak Chahar dropped
Deepak
one, if I'm
Chahar
not
dropped
wrong.
one at like backward point, and Chahal dropped one at the short third man. There's some,
Yeah.
yeah, very
So
basic,
some,
yeah. And this is going to be a problem going forward for India because if they want to compete at the highest level in the T20 World Cups, you need to take your catches, otherwise teams will
yeah,
punish you. You gave Maxwell
yeah,
like three chances and he scored a 50. He could have been out for like 10, 15, 20, like, you know.
yeah.
So
Unacceptable actually in the field. This is not what the Indian teams over the past few years have always been very good in the field. This is like reminds us of the 90s when India was actually poor in the field.
yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah,
I mean, and
I
you
mean,
don't with like the fitness that Kohli brings in and everything is very
yeah,
surprising. I would
yeah.
expect more
And
from.
the captain himself has dropped a couple of sitters,
Bro,
unfortunately.
can
So
you explain to me that catch he dropped in the second T20, man? Because I don't
I have no
know.
idea. There's whenever Kohli drops something, I just am so surprised because he's so he banks on being so good and it's just I mean of course I mean everyone does it every once in a while. You'll have like a but just so many chances. It's just
Yeah,
shocking. I mean just so way too many chances, and this is going to cost them. This is going to bite them. I mean like they were able to win the series because they're a brilliant team in terms of the batting capabilities and the bowling capabilities, but this fielding is like something that everyone has to be good at considering the level that the game is at right now. So some poor fielding, but overall, I think bowling department. I think the find has been Natarajan. He's been consistently good, and he's really been proving that it's never really over. Even at 29, you can debut. You can do great things for Indian cricket. Hats off to him. He's been absolutely amazing. And pretty much that's really been the only shining light in what's been a relatively poor bowling performance overall. I mean, yes, there have been instances where Chahal has done well. There have been instances where Jaddu has done well, but I think that overall, I think Natarajan's been the only bright light in over the ODIs and T20 is just the only bright light that's been because everyone else who you expect them to perform consistently have found it hard this series. So your thoughts on that?
yeah, no, 100%. I think the fact that he started late, actually, he has a mature head on him, right? Like I don't think yes, of course, he's nervous and everything, but I think he's much more mature as a bowler because of his age and experience. Like not in international games, but he's played so much cricket, so I think that helps a lot. And he's been unbelievable. His left arm, even his variations. Before we thought he could only bowl Yorkers, but he showed that he can bowl the short ball. He can bowl the slower delivery, but he's been unbelievable. The find of the series for India, the find of the series, and Kohli is really lucky to have him and Bumrah. I think that makes a deadly like death bowling thing for the T20 World Cup, and I'm excited
Yeah.
to see him in the squad, and hopefully he can continue and move and keep going after this as well,
Yeah,
keep
and,
improving.
and and then he can, and then the likes of Shami with that beautiful pace. I think if Chahal can pick up a little bit of his bowling prowess, I think that this would be a solid bowling time. I'm not taking anything away from this team, but they just need to get their things right before because there's about 8-10 months left for the T20 World Cup. So
Yeah.
they really need to start prepping nicely for it now so that they'll be ready and it's still India's for the taking. I mean they have been the better T20 side overall. Even
Yeah.
this year, I think this is the only first game they lost in T20. I think they played about 10, 11, and this is the only one that they lost. So,
Yeah.
so looking forward for Indian cricket. I think the batting if you think about batting, some uh, issues with that number 4, number 5 place when if they're going to go with Shreyas Iyer or they're going
Yeah,
to
I mean,
stick
they're
with Manish
both
Pandey.
throwing away their wickets, Iyer and Samson. I think again in the last
Yeah,
game we saw that, like, they show moments of brilliance and then they throw their wicket. They need to be more consistent, 100%.
yeah. But I think Virat, great innings by Virat. Couldn't finish because that's what he is. He prides himself on being a very good finisher. He wasn't able to finish that, so he'll be a
I
little
think
bit
that
disappointed
Pandya
with that.
wicket like really put the pressure on him. If Pandya
Yeah,
was there, it
yeah.
would have been a bit easier for him. He didn't get the
Yep.
support. Yes, of course he wants to finish, but like with the run rate climbing, you need somebody there with you who can hit boundaries as well, take the pressure off.
Yeah, and I think in Hardik Pandya they've just found an absolutely incredible finisher of the cricket. I mean, just beautiful overall.
Yeah.
Um,
Just one thing
Absolutely
with
hats
him, I
off to him.
think he misses the ball a bit on the off stump, so maybe teams might like be wary of that. But yes, he does. Like he's been unbelievable. I think he's
Unbelievable.
matured as a batsman in this series, both one day and T20s. And once he starts bowling, he's going to be India's main player. I feel going into the T20 World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming to Australia, I think their batting wise, I think
Yes.
they'll be happy with Wade's performance. They'll be happy with
Unbelievable,
Max's
man.
performance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait, like he's their backup opener, like after Finch and
yeah,
Warner, and if he can play like that, there's going to be a lot of competition. Like unbelievable. He in the power play some really good strikes. He's aggressive, and then he can rotate the strike as well. It's not like he's trying to hit every ball. It's very smart. He chooses which ball to hit. He knows when to attack. So I think unbelievable. And Maxwell, yes, he was lucky, I think, in this game, but he's a great striker of the ball, and like.
he's. I mean, that's kind of why I think every IPL team wants to put all that big money in. Every time he goes for those big money. Unfortunate that he doesn't perform as often as they would
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
But that's the reason. These are the kind of games that you see that the reason behind him being in these kind of games is because he has that capability. So
Yeah.
something. I mean, yes, you don't give Maxwell chances, but if you do, then that's what he's going to do to you, right?
Yeah.
So not a lot to worry about. I think yes, they did lose 2 games, but I think that they're doing okay. They didn't have Warner up top. I mean, Wade did okay, but I think that
They have
if they
some
can,
issue in the middle overs. I think like
yeah,
Smith,
yeah,
I don't know what happened, man. In the one days he's striking so such a
yeah,
high rate, and then T20 is going run a ball. So I think that's a bit of an issue for them. But apart from that, I agree with you. I think
yeah.
not they still have some players to come in, so they will be, and their bowlers. Cummins, Hazelwood, none of them bowl. So
Right, absolutely. So yeah, and then coming to their bowling, I think that this was not their full strength bowling squad, so they should be too worried about it. The likes of Cummins, Stark, and stuff like that will probably take precedence in the T20 World Cup. But just to see their B side, their kind of backup bowlers are taking a little bit of a little
Swepson,
bit of a
man,
beating.
Swepson
Oh
will
yeah,
go.
Swamson's been
Yeah,
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's been
And then
unbelievable.
the spinners have been good, but I think in the fast bowling department they
Hmm.
have lacked a little bit. I
Yeah,
mean, Andrew Ty was getting away with a couple of wides. I thought this some
yeah,
at least a couple of those were real definitely wides. But I think that variations that Andrew Ty has and his experience is helping, and he was able to come to the party in terms of stifling the runs for India. So good job on him. But I think that maybe some backup bowlers probably just if you're trying to be a little bit too critical on them, that they might need to look at who their backup bowlers are and kind of keep one or two who they really think will, in case like someone like a Stark gets injured or something in the
yeah.
with the World Cup coming soon enough, So they probably just a couple of things that they might have to sort out in that front. But I think overall, I think they shouldn't be too worried. They lost 2, but they won 1 as well. So some just some points for them to think about,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what the think tank will do. But your player of the match?
Swepson, man, by far.
Yeah, he
Th-
was very,
Three
very good.
three wickets, 23 runs in 4 overs, unbelievable. And I think Australia will be like you're right. I think backup fast bowling wasn't as what they expected. Like they didn't have like a Natarajan in their team, but I think
Yeah,
they can develop that. It's not a big issue because they still have some really
yeah,
big bowlers to come in for the World Cup.
true.
But the two leg spinners troubling subcontinent team and a team like India who plays spin really well, or
Yeah,
who's traditionally known to play spin well. I think they'll be really ecstatic to have these kind of spinners, and they need to work on these guys, back them. And I think credit to Finch and the Australian management for backing both leg spinners, both young. I think Zampa has been a sensation this whole series. Yes, he's gone for runs here and there, but he's bowled really well, some really good variations. And Swepson showed yesterday that after a first a bit tough game, he still took Kohli's wicket there, and then he came back, and yesterday he bowled brilliantly, picked up wickets, and he
yeah.
wasn't easy to hit either.
Absolutely, I think incredible. I think kind of a good headache for them to have if they decide to go with only if they have to kind of go with only one spinner. That'll be a good headache for them to have. But yeah, I think they have all the bases covered. They just have to just kind of fine tune their team, and they should be good.
Yeah.
Hats
Just
off to
one,
India. They're the
yeah,
ones.
just
Yeah,
one. Sorry to cut you, but just one thing.
yeah,
I think the big difference where Australia have an advantage going in is that their batsmen can bowl. We've already discussed this, but like someone like a
yeah.
Maxwell chipping in,
Oh yeah,
opening the
absolutely.
bowling, that helps a lot.
Yeah, Max's, Moses,
Maxi is doing
Stoinis, all these
Sundar's job.
guys.
Maxi is doing Sundar's job, and he can
Yeah,
smash a
yeah,
50. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
That's true. And then the likes of Moses and Stoin is also in the middle
yes,
order that can actually
exactly.
bat and bowl both. So
Yeah. So that's a
there's
huge
that as well.
advantage for Australia. Yeah, that's a huge advantage.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. But hats off to India because the T20. I mean, everyone after like a couple of games in
Yeah.
the ODI series, everyone kind of wrote them off. So they came back strong. They won the series. They lost the game, but they won the series. So hats off to them. And I think a nice touch by Hardik Pandya to give away his man of the series trophy to Natarajan because
Yeah.
Natarajan has been very very good this season. So
Yeah, I
hats
mean,
off to them. I
yeah,
think.
and that does well for the team morale and everything. I think and it shows Pandya's maturing, man. He's not
Yeah,
what he
yeah.
was 2 3 years ago when he went on Coffee with Karan. He's different now. Like he's
Yeah,
maturing, and that's
he's
good, really good
definitely
signs.
maturing.
And but, like I honestly didn't expect this, but right now going into the T20 World Cup, he's going to be your main player, especially if he can bowl.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that he's apparently planning to leave and not stay back for the test matches.
yeah,
So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, I
yeah,
think just kind of coming into the test match series,
yeah.
this is going to be a whole different ball game.
Yeah, that's gonna
this
come.
is
We might have some long nights, man. Some long nights.
this is I mean the if the warm up game is anything to go by, the openers struggled.
Yeah.
Yes, Rahane scored a century, but Pujara struggled even though he scored a 50. There's a couple here and there, but I think that there's going to be so much issues, and if we go in only with four fast bowlers, we're going to struggle. There's just so much to think about. There's a lot of thinking to do. T20 is a different ball game. Test matches is 90 over days. It's a lot of effort that's going to go in. Shami, Bumrah have been somewhat poor. Ashwin wasn't able to really. I mean, it was, yes, his first game, but I think he wasn't able to really get those wickets as much as we would like. Who are they gonna go with at number 7? Are they gonna go with that extra bowler, or are they gonna go with that extra batsman? A lot of thinking for India to do. It's gonna be interesting what they come out with. The kind of and then after the first game, Virat Kohli is going back. So who are they gonna replace him with? Lot of questions, lot of thinking. So your
Yeah, and
thoughts?
I'm actually also very worried about the injuries. Like the bowlers need to stay fit. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they need to stay fit because they're one injury away from fielding 2 3 days in a test match.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
these are Bumrah and Shami. I think you're gonna bank on these bowlers, but I feel it's gonna be a tough test for India. It's gonna be difficult. Their best shot will be in the first test, but again, it's under lights. Yes, Adelaide is Kohli's home second home, if you want to say. He has an unbelievable
yeah,
record, but with that pink ball, with the ball moving, if he comes in the twilight period, it's not going to be easy. So Australia have played the pink ball test in Australia before, so they have experience. And with Smith back, yes, Warner might be injured, might be missing a few games, but with Smith and Labuschagne in that middle order, that's what I'm really worried about. And yes, India have bowled well over the past 2 years, but they've also struggled in places, especially at trying to dismiss the tail. So I think first they need to get Smith out, and then after that they need to get the tail out. But it's not going to be easy for sure. And
yeah.
Nathan Lyon as well. Don't forget him. I think he's unbelievable, especially at home. So it's not going to be easy for India. They'll be banking on Pujara, Rahane when Kohli goes, and they'll need some youngster to step up. Man, I don't know if it's Shubman Gill or Mayank Agarwal or Rahul, but someone needs to step up, and if they want to
Yeah,
fight.
it's going to be a difficult series, but I'm not writing them off yet. We'll see how the first test
Yeah,
goes.
definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, your players to watch out for in the test matches.
In the test matches, Steve Smith and Labuschagne Xerox copies. Like I think, it's just like carbon copy, man. Looking in a mirror,
Yeah,
even when they're before they're fidgeting before the ball, they do the same thing. So yeah, and then
yeah,
for India, actually, I'm going a bit different. I just KL Rahul, man. I just feel
yeah,
he's maturing as a cricketer. Yes, he didn't have the greatest limited over series, but I think he has something there, a spark, which I feel that he could he had a poor outing in Australia as well last time in this test series,
yeah.
so hopefully he can learn from that. And from the bowling, I'd probably have to say Bumrah, even though Ashwin, I think you're going to go Ashwin, but yeah, Bumrah.
Yeah, for me, the openers, I think Mayank Agarwal should start. I think KL and Mayank are up top over there, and
You're
then I
not
think
going
for me,
Prithvi
Ashwin.
Shaw.
I think I'll go with KL and Mayank. I think that's a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mayank Agarwal has been very very good. I think I want to continue seeing how he does. And then the next three, Pujara, Virat, and Rahane are good. But I think for me, Ashwin, I think I'm a big fan of him. I just want to see him because when he's probably going to be bowling the long spells, so we're gonna have to see if he can really create something out of nothing when the team really needs it. And I think he has the capability to do that. So we'll see how it goes.
And I hope Vihari is practicing in the nets as well. Like he'll need to
That's
bowl
going to
some
be
overs.
important. Yeah,
He'll need
because
to
there's
bowl.
some bowlers, for sure that he's going to need
And
to
just
do that
just
as well.
a quick last question.
Yeah,
If when Kohli goes, who's batting at number 4 for you?
Shubman Gill.
Okay. I
Yeah,
also went that way, but I mean, a lot of people were saying bring Rahul to 4 and open with like a Gill or Shaw, but I think I'm going with you.
I think Gill at 4. Just bring him in. I think he is the future. He has a lot of talent. Just bring
Yeah.
him in. Give him a few games. Let him sort it out.
I
Even
just
if he-
hope it
even
doesn't
if he
backfire
fails.
because for a youngster, mentally it could think. But yes, I agree with you. Even if it fails, it's okay. But for a youngster, I don't know how that will do.
Yeah. I guess that's a fair point, but I think he's been coached by the great Rahul Dravid. I think he'll be able to come out of it even if he fails. But I think he has enough talent to at least get a couple of at least one innings out of those 4 that he'll probably play where he'll have a decent run
Yeah.
and maybe just like get a 50 or 100. Hopefully he gets a big 100. That'll be
Yeah,
great.
that's what happened
But
to
at least
Kohli in 2011-12. If you remember, when he was young,
yeah.
that's what happened to him. He got a break and he
And
scored
then
100.
yep, absolutely. And then when Virat comes back, it's going to keep the likes of Pujara, Rahane, and Vihari
Yeah.
on their toes because they're going to need to be right up there. Otherwise, they could face the axe. So it's good. Yeah. So some. I mean, all is not doom and gloom. I think we'll just kind of wait and see how the first test goes. Maybe they win that one, and then it's just a matter of kind of holding the other team off. But let's see how it goes. Looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Really excited and can't wait.
I think we'll catch you right after the first. We'll catch you on the in and around the first test. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. We'll plan it out. Now it's going to be 5 days, so we'll plan it out probably. Figure it out. But thank you
sounds
so
good.
much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
and
joining.
your prediction. Sorry.
That's what I say. I'm
You're
going to
waiting.
go with an India win for the
you're
first,
going India.
first
Okay.
test.
First test, you're going India.
Just for the first test, I'm going for the India win. I just feel like Virat will score a big century. I think Ashwin will take a couple of wickets when we really need it, and I think that will kind of sneak it. But I think we'll be okay in the first test. Even though I think that it's going to be a long series in general, I think the first test will surprise everyone.
I hope you're right. That's what I can say. But I think
I think for you though, are you going Australia win?
I feel Australia, but I think if India have to win a test, this is the test because you have your captain there, you have your best batsman there. So let's just go India. My mind says, let's just say my mind says Australia and my heart says India. But this is India's best chance to win. I'm not worried about. I'm very worried about the lights. I don't know how they're going to play under that. So that's why. If it was Adelaide, Kohli's last game of the series because he's leaving, I would tip India, but it's just the lights, so I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Looking forward to it.
For sure, man. Take care.
Take care.